Hey guys, Rachel West here, and I'm joined by Rick Stroud and Joey Knight. And guys, the Bucs just pretty handedly beat the Carolina Panthers on Sunday. Now we're moving on into the first round of the playoffs. The matchups are all set. They're going to be hosting the Philadelphia Eagles at Ray J on Sunday, Joey. And that's something that's kind of been pretty rare in Bucs history.
Very rare, you might say. For the eighth time in the franchise's 46 years of existence, they are hosting a playoff game. And the Bucs have won 5 of those home playoff games in their existence. So think about that. 5 home playoff wins, counting the Super Bowl, which was technically a neutral site game, but we'll count it for these purposes. 5 home playoff wins in about half a century. I went back and looked. Tampa has crowned 7 mayors during that time. So they've had more mayors than they've had playoff wins in the last 46 years. So it's something to celebrate. It's something to savor. And there's a little bit of nostalgia, too. The old school Bucs fans will remember that first home playoff win against the Philadelphia Eagles of all teams. I believe it was 21-17, Rick. At the end of the 1979 season, Bucs weren't expected to win, but they took it to Harold Carmichael and Ron Jaworski and Wilbert Montgomery and those guys en route to the NFC title game.
And Rick, good news for Bucs fans that the team's going to be playing at home. And also good news for the Bucs is that they're going to be getting a few key guys back from injury this week, particularly on defense. That'll be helpful against an Eagles team that does like to run the ball quite a lot.
Yeah, we talked to Bruce Arians on Monday, and he said that he fully expects Shaq Barrett and Jason Pierre-Paul to be back sometime this week and play on Sunday, maybe later in the week before they know about Lavonte David. And Lavonte David may be the most important piece, right? Because the Bucs just have not been the same run defense without him. And Devin White has not been the same inside linebacker without Lavonte David, who sort of erases his mistakes at times. So when you look at the Eagles, they are the number 1 rush team in the league. They've done a great job since the Bucs have played them. It all starts with Jalen Hurts, all the run pass options, the pressure that he can put on your defense. And I think they're really going to need Lavonte David to sort of calm things down a little bit. Teams are now trying to press them on the perimeters. They're trying to run outside a lot. That's creating a lot of stress on those defensive or outside linebackers to try to contain and do those things. Anthony Nelson's come in and done a great job. I think they've gotten some good play from Joe Tryon and Sharinka, but to get those 3 linebackers back, particularly Lavonte David in the middle, would be huge for them, especially this week.
And Joey, as Rick mentioned, these teams have played before. The Bucs did win back in week 6. So how might things be similar to that game? And obviously both teams have grown a bit since then. So how might they be looking a little different as well?
Well, the Eagles have evolved with their quarterback. Hurts is a second-year guy, and he's just become more comfortable in the NFL. And they've embraced the kind of the run pass option offense that Jalen Hurts excels at. It fits his skill set. They will come into Raymond James Stadium as the leading rushing team in the NFL, close to 160 rushing yards a game. And Jalen Hurts has the most rushing yards of any quarterback in the NFL, 784, slightly more than Lamar Jackson. And Bucs fans to go back to that October 14th game in Philadelphia, Thursday night game. The Bucs built a big lead, I think something like 28-7, and then they let the Eagles kind of chip away. The Eagles will, I would think, come into this game with a little more confidence before they just kind of mailed it in against the Cowboys in the season finale. They won 4 in a row before that. So you're going to have a confident team coming in here, probably with a little bit of momentum and a little confidence in their quarterback and what they're trying to do.
And Rick, this point last year, being in the playoffs was such a cool thing, and they were all excited about that. Now it's kind of a been there, done that for everyone, obviously winning the Super Bowl last year. So yeah. What are the emotions and what's kind of the mood heading into this week, and how is that different compared to last year at this time?
Well, I think it's totally different because, a year ago, they built some momentum at the end of the year with 4 straight wins, and we're a hot team, particularly on offense and defense, heading into the postseason. They didn't have really any cataclysmic injuries other than Vita Vea, who they got back for the NFC Championship game. He had a huge impact in that game. This year, it's been a struggle. We've documented, all the injuries that they have had. and teams have been gunning for them. They've gotten the best shot from every team they've played. But the difference is, too, that last year they had to go on the road. There weren't many fans or limited fans. This year they're guaranteed 2 home playoff games, and that was huge. If you saw that locker room, and there's plenty of video out there from the Bucs of them watching that Rams game and seeing, the San Francisco 49ers beat the Rams to give them that number 2 seed. That elation in that locker room was real, but you've got to win the first game before you can get to the second one. And if you're lucky enough to do that and win the second one, maybe somebody knocks off the Green Bay Packers. But they have a nice path to the playoffs. It's through Raymond James, where they've been a different team this year. The flags will be out. There'll be all kinds of fans behind them. So a much more festive entrance to the postseason, but also a little more expectations and question marks as well.
Yep, as Bruce Arians said, it's a 1-game season, and that 1-game season starts now. So we'll see how they fare come Sunday against the Eagles. Everyone be sure that you're following along with all of our coverage of it throughout the week over on social media at Sports by Tampa Bay Times, as well as tampabay.com.